Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been a couple of weeks since I've done a video and there has been a couple of reasons for that. One, I'm in Melbourne and it has been pouring down with rain, and living in a caravan, the rain on the roof is very loud. I actually can't record over it. Sometimes my husband will go, "What are you doing?" But it's not me, it's the noise from the rain. So I haven't been able to record. That's the first reason. And secondly, I used that opportunity to reset and organise my life. I have been putting rules into my life to get the most out of it. Now, these are rules that I have made, so for me that they're okay. No one else has impended these onto me. So I have made several rules and looked at several parts of my life, and one of them was obviously my weight. So I've got a change in my diet. Now this diet, I have spent weeks, actually I spent more than weeks, I did spend months prior to this, but really the last few weeks I've been feeling and listening to my body. When I eat something, how does it feel? Does it give me a reaction? Do I get reflux? Do I get heartburn? Do I make it sick? Does it sit in my chest and make me feel sick? Or do I feel good eating it? And honestly, most of the foods I was eating weren't benefiting me in any way. I was feeling sick, some of it more than others. Some of it I couldn't even go to sleep with, or I'd wake up during the night with reflux. And it's a horrible feeling when you start coughing and you've got this burning in your throat and that. So I decided that I would go back onto the carnivore diet. Now, I have been carnivore before. A few years ago I tried it for 4 months and found my body was amazing. A lot of my ailments went, and I stopped doing it for the most stupidest reason, and I don't know why, but I just stopped it for the most stupid reason. So we won't go into that at the moment. So that's what I have chosen. Some of you might be vegans, vegetarians, or whatever you do, whatever works for your body, but mine seems to be carnivore, so we'll go on that journey. I've also emptied out the fridge and freezer, the cupboards from the junk food, so all that's gone. I didn't need it here because carnivore is very restricted with what you eat anyway, and most of that other stuff was not agreeing with me. And I restocked the fridges and freezers and stuff with the chosen food that I will be eating, so everything's ready, available. I've always got like a week's worth of food here. There's plenty of food. I won't run out. And I'm also made sure that the utensils I use are ready when I need them. So everything's available. I'm not having to hunt anything. I have increased my time volunteering. I volunteer for a lovely charity, and I've been volunteering there for over 5 years already, which deals with angel babies. And I wanted to volunteer with animals. And the reason for that is because I desperately want another dog. I lost my dog, old age and cancer, probably about 4 years ago now. And it's sort of left a big gaping hole in it. I've wanted a dog ever since. But because we travel and we go to national forests and that, it's not really convenient. Well, I can't take a dog there, and my husband's not tuned into having one at this particular stage. So I'm willing to step back and hold off having the dog, but I wanted to be involved with dogs. I didn't mind I'll be involved with cats and other animals. So the organisation does dogs, cats, and all farm animals that they help out. And I love being around them and I love spending time with them. I also do some volunteer work with making crafts and that. So I feel like I'm involved and I get to pat the animals and cuddle up to them, be sociable. Also wanted to be more sociable with people too. Being on my own at the moment with hubby travelling, the only time I usually go out is one day a week, and that's to my other volunteer. So I wanted to actually mingle with more people, get to know more people. And there's a different age group between the people I volunteer with and the people I volunteer with the animal. So there's a different age group, so they're different kinds of people. It also would allow me to be more physically active. So the angel babies that I volunteer with, I sit down and paint virtually, or I decorate boxes or something. I'm doing something that is a sit down. And even when I volunteer, I do some knitting for them, it's sitting down all the time. So I wanted to get and do some more physical activities. So at the moment, I go in 1 day a week with the animals. I wanted to work with the dogs, but all their dogs are really from medium size to larger, because all the ones up to medium sort of thing get fostered out. So they were too big for me with my health restrictions at the moment, and I am recovering from herniated disc. So I didn't want to have that pulling and jolting of a dog, say, going for a walk. It's very wet at the moment, so I didn't want to slip over and do more damage. So I opted to go to the cattery, and in the cattery is also a vet clinic as well. So I help out with the cattery, cleaning cages, playing with the cats, feeding them, giving them medication, and the vets, giving them a cup of tea or something so they can keep going. I'm doing the washing and that's fine. I'm happy to be involved with that. I've only done 1 day. Tomorrow's my second day, so I'm really looking forward to it. But that's part of my increasing and getting to know myself and getting to reset and organise my life. The next thing is I wanted to increase more time doing things that I like, and I like making crafts. I'm a very creative person, always have been, and I don't like sitting idle. I don't like wasting time. I find that if my hands are not doing something, then I feel like I'm wasting time. And the only time I won't be doing something, especially if I'm watching a movie or that, is if I feel really sick. So if I've got a bad migraine or something, I will not do something. I'll just be like, no, I have to just sit there. So I decided that I will make crafts. I sell some of my items, and the money I sell, so the money I get from those items, I use to support my volunteer work. So I buy more stock, or I'll donate some items and they will sell the items. So it's not money coming out of my pocket. It was to start with, but now my crafts fund it, and I'm able to help out more of these volunteers. And I do only pick the two that I'm with. So the animal place I'm with and the angel babies I'm with, the organisation which is called Treasured Babies, I just pick those two, and they're the ones I actually help. So that's what it funds. I'm also trying new things. I decided that hubby's away, I am going to try everything I've wanted to try. And I got a book from the library, and the library shows all different classes. So I started scheduling different things of interest. I did the other day, a couple of weeks ago, I did a book writing class. So a lady had written a book on hiking, and I'm really interested in writing a book, not on hiking, but I'm interested in writing a book. Don't know what of, but that might come later on. Always have been. I'm also doing a mend, make and bake get together. I've never done this before. I've got one this weekend where you go to a group, like I think it's a hall we're going to, and it's 10 till 2, so 4 hours, and you just bring something you got to mend, or something that you're making, or a craft project, or that you're working on, and you get together. So everyone's got something different. You bring a plate for everyone to share, so everyone's got something different to do. And you just get together, you chat, you finish what you're doing. And I think it's a great idea, especially if you've got a whole lot of projects, unfinished projects just sitting there. It gives you the momentum to get them done, and it also gives you the momentum to socialise and get to know new people. So there's more people that I'm going to get to know. Last year I started to learn crocheting, I wanted to do crocheting animals. I do knitting. I've knitted since I was in my early teens, but I never learnt crocheting, and I've wanted to do animals, as in, toys and stuff, not to keep, just to give away or to sell, and do the same thing for the volunteers. And last year I said, right, as of January this year, I am going to learn to crochet. Now it's July and I have not picked up a crocheting hook this year. So everything I learnt last year, I've probably forgotten. So I'm going to do some crocheting online. I might even take some of this to that class and get it going. I just want to get more regular. I have bought some really bright wool because one of the animal volunteers wants some balls for the cats and that to play with, and I thought that's perfect. I can practice doing balls. I've done a ball before. I'll just practice making balls, and of course then what do you balls? I donate them, and then they sell them on their craft stall. And I also purchased some kits. I purchased calligraphy, a drawing, and a watercolor kit. They're three things that I wanted to dabble in. I don't want to be a professional at it or anything, but I like dabbling in that sort of stuff. I have done all three of them before. It's been a long time, so I want to sort of get back into it. And they're three things that I can use when I make cards as well. So that's something that I've wanted to do and that I'm scheduling into my time. Now, I did say I was losing weight. Well, I've changed my diet, so I will lose weight. My wardrobe. I have been in black for so many years, especially when I'm overweight. And my uniform was black. I feel black makes you look slimmer, or it hides the rolls more, if you want to pull it, the spare tires, the rolls and everything. So it hides it more. And I wanted to get out of it. So I have ordered and bought some clothes with colour. Now, I haven't got it on at the moment because it's cold and this is the warmest jumper I've got at the moment. So I've bought these with colour, and I think some people go, well, it's silly when you're losing weight. Why would you buy clothes now? I have for so many years put off buying clothes with colour because I go, well, when I lose the weight, I will then buy those clothes with colour. And I am learning to myself that I deserve to have clothes with colour now. So I am buying clothes with colour. Most of my stuff that I've bought are literally jumpers and jackets or tops. So it doesn't matter if you lose a few, because I don't wear things fitted. So it doesn't matter if you lose like a couple of sizes, they're still going to fit. And then eventually you can just donate them to someone else and someone else will get the enjoyment out of it. So I don't mind that. And I'm looking forward to it. I did wear some the other day and it was like, oh, this feels good. Mind you, I like blue, so a lot of stuff I ordered was blue. So I've gone from black to blue. I've also organised my weeks. So I've organised certain days for certain things. I've set days for my volunteering. So they're on certain days and no other days. I've set days for appointments. I've got free days, so I allow time to rest and do what I want to do. I try never to book anything on the weekend. So, except for the thing that I've just booked, which is only one Sunday a month this weekend, I try not to do it because I film on a weekend or at nights. We're doing work here on the property, so I have a lot of tradesmen coming around. There's a lot of noise going on at the moment, and obviously the rain, I've got to film around the rain and that. So I find that there's no time during the week, like during a work day, to do it. I'm better to do research or do other things that are on my list, some things that I want to do, crafts, volunteer work, appointments, all that sort of stuff during the week. And at night time, if it's not raining and it's quiet, I can film, or on the weekend I can do that. So it's more relaxing for me. I wake up the same time every morning except for the weekend, and I go to bed whenever I feel like it, which is a change from when I used to work. I used to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now I wake up at 7. So, and I used to go to bed like between 5 and about 8 o'clock when I started at 3, and now I go to bed midnight, 1 o'clock, whatever. Because sometimes I'm going to bed and I'll sit down for the next hour writing stuff or reviewing stuff or getting stuff off my head. So I think a lot. I call my husband because he's traveling at the same time every night, and I set a day, 1 day a week, to actually reset my environment, to reflect on what's happened on the week and what I want to happen for the next week, to review anything that's on my to-do list, like my monthly to-do list or my yearly to-do list. Is there anything I can do towards it? And to reorganize anything that I need to organize, whether it's appointments, whether it's the space I'm in, whether it's because of a lot of our stuff is in a storage container, which is not far from where I am on the property. I can like get stuff in there and then bring it back into the caravan to be able to work on it. I've also decided that I'm going to look at life differently. When my husband started to travel, I said every day we need to talk at a certain time. And this isn't because I'm trying to be controlling or anything or that of him, or I don't trust him. This is for safety reasons, for one, and for two, so we can get to chat. Safety is if I call you at the same time every single day and you don't answer that phone, right, and I can't get through to you, I'll call the police because something has happened from one phone call to the next. Now, he will text me during the day, or he'll say I'll probably be in an area where there's no phone reception and that. He has Starlink, so he sets it up and then lets me know when it's on. But that's more for that reason. And two, my husband loves to talk. He loves to tell me the ins and outs of every single tiny little detail. He's not one of these guys that is straight to the point. He is, I'll give you the details and then you go, what are you talking about? Oh, you got off track. Love him. He just loves to talk. So I've actually said to him, look, you need to keep these conversations to 30 minutes. And I think 30 minutes a day when you're not with someone is a good time. You don't want to be chatting for hours. I've got things to do. He's got things to do. And so I said 30 minutes, hoping that he would condense in that 30 minutes. He writes a list of what's important he needs to tell me, and I do the same thing for him. In that 30 minutes, he will just chat about what that is, and we will find out each other what's going on. If anything's really urgent, we text during the day, but I ask him not to call me unless it's really urgent, because it's really hard when you're trying to organize yourself or think about things or meditate or visit people or that, to have phone calls all during the day when it doesn't get to the point. So just text me. The other thing is that looking differently. My dad came in the other day and sat down. He comes through the door here and he sits down on this chair, and I was sitting opposite him on the other chair. And he's sitting there, and I noticed he was literally covered with mud. So obviously he must have been moving wood or something on the property. And he comes down to chat because, my dad and I chat. My mum and I chat too. And I'm looking at this mud dripping off onto the table and I'm thinking, oh dear, I've just cleaned the caravan. I literally had just cleaned the floors and everything, and I had the space. And I just listened to him. He's 80. He's getting on. He's 80. And I think, no, I'll just let him do what he says, talk to me. And he leaves. And I look at the chair, and no joke, this chair was brown. It was covered in dirt. And I'm looking at it going, oh, jeepers. That's my first reaction. And then straight away I clicked out and I went, you know what? One day, he's not going to be here. And he's not going to come in and sit down and dirty my chair and talk to me, because he's going to be gone. And then that's the day I'm going to miss my chair getting dirty. So straight away I went from sort of the bit of the frustration, annoyance to, you know what? It doesn't matter. It took me 2 minutes to wipe it down, and I felt good that my dad would come and want to talk to me and want to spend time with me. And I hope he keeps doing it again. It's the housework's not that important anymore. And I have one day a week I get it all clean. Doesn't matter. So I'm learning to look at life differently. And I know there's a lot of other parts in my life that I need to do that, because I used to get very anxious and annoyed pretty easily. When I was working full time, I was tired and my husband would get on my nerves and all that sort of stuff. So that's one thing that I am working on. I'm also learning to be patient. And part of that being patient is I use time fillers, or I have time fillers handy. So when I'm on my phone to my husband, if he goes on and on and on and on about stuff, I will be doing stuff. I've been screenshotting crochet patterns, from Facebook when it comes up, and I'll screenshot the patterns and go, oh, that looks nice, and find I had 14,000 pictures on my phone. So I'd get on the computer in iCloud and I'd be downloading them from there onto my computer and then deleting them off my phone or off iCloud, which deletes it off your phone. And then it's something that I don't have to think about, and my husband can talk, and we can still have a conversation. I can still hear what he's going. So I do stuff like that. I don't need to concentrate. I was on a Zoom call the other day and I was stuffing dogs that I was knitting with filling. So she said, I was wondering what you're doing. I was trying not to do it so she could see it. You sort of like hide it under here while you're doing it, but now and again you'd see this hand go up. But also I was turning the heater thing off and on because it was getting too hot, and then I was getting too cold, so she could see this hand going up and down now and again. I wasn't going, yes, me. And anyway, all too often I think we get involved with the automatics of life, like working, making a living, raising kids, etc. We just get involved in it. We truly let living get away from us. We don't seem to make the time to reset and reorganise our life. And I think sometimes people say, I'm too busy. But I think you are too busy not to. You need to reset and you need to organise your life to be able to get the most out of it. Otherwise, 10 years down the track, you're going to go, what happened to that 10 years? Or what happened to that year? Or what happened to that week? I think you need to know what it is that you want and take time out for yourself. And also, you need to do things that you enjoy. Incorporate these into your life. Make sure you schedule them. That way, especially if you're one of these people who can't say no to people. I was one of those. I found that in a place that I worked at, I worked with disabled people. And if you turn around and said, oh, no, when I was a casual, they'd say, oh, can you work here? And I go, oh, no, I wanted to take that time off and do something. You wouldn't get shifts again at that particular location. So I used to say, I'm sorry, I'm booked. And I would book time slots for me in there. I would book time, even if the time slot is sleep, or I'm booking time slot for crafts, or I'm booking time for catching up or anything like that. Book times for yourself. And I think that's part of you're resetting and reorganising your life. Work out what you want. Work out what things you want to incorporate. Work out what you want to get rid of. And then aim for that and just do it slowly. Do little small steps and start and see what works for you. And then if that doesn't work, change it. So let me know in the comments below. Have you done anything this week, this month, or this year even to reset and reorganise your life? Or is it something that you think might be beneficial to you and something you might try? And anyway, meanwhile, I hope this video was insightful. Stay safe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.